Welcome back to Keto Journey. I'm Mike, Reformed Fat Man. Today we're going to reverse sear a steak. Now I have a sirloin steak that I purchased at Aldi, and I'm going to reverse sear it. So let's get started. So the purpose of reverse searing a steak is to better perfect the doneness of the steak to where you want it. With a reverse sear steak, think of it as sous vide without the sous vide machine. You're using your oven and you're using your hot pan. You put it in the oven, and I've got the oven preheated to 200 degrees, and we're going to cook it. It's not a real thick steak, so I'm going to check it after 20 minutes, and see. And what I want to do, if you like your steak rare, pull it out when it's at about an internal temperature of 105. If you like your steak medium rare, pull it out at an internal temperature of 115. And if you like medium, you'll go for 125. Now, I know that medium is not 125, and I know that medium rare is not 115, and rare is not 105 in the reality of things. But when you're doing this, you're starting the cooking there, and then you're going to transfer it to a hot pan, and you're going to finish it off, and that will bring it up to the rest of the temperature that you need. So that's why you have to pull it off early, so that it will be at the proper doneness. Now you can do this with an automatic thermometer that you stick in there and you bring out and you watch the temp, or you can pull it out periodically and test with a handheld thermometer, which that isn't constantly reading it, and this is one of those, and that's what I'll use because that's what I have. So that's what we'll do, and I'm going to check it at 20 minutes and see how it is, and judge from there how much longer I have to do it, because you don't want to overcook your meat in the oven. So you got to be very mindful of the temperature. So that's the first step. Now I have dried the meat, and I have seasoned the meat. And what I've done is I've salt and pepper. That's basically what I do with a steak. And I've let it come to room temperature and all as well. So, another beautiful thing about this, doing this method is, normally when you do a steak in the pan totally, you need to let it rest for about 10 minutes. Certainly no less than 5. But with this method, you don't have to let it rest. It's all you've continued the meat has kept the juices in the oven, and you don't have to worry about that. So the letting it rest part is just so that it will reabsorb the liquids. Well, the liquids are all in there still, so you're good. So there's no need to. So we're going to put this in the oven and check it in about 20 minutes. Okay, so taking the steak out of the oven. Remember, it was set on a temperature of 200. Ended up taking about 30 minutes to get the desired internal temp of 115 for a medium rare. Now I'm putting it in the pan, and it's a hot pan, and that's exactly what I want, so we can get that sizzle right away. And I want to cook it for about a minute on each side to get it sizzled. Make sure all of the surfaces touching the pan. Now you can also add in some butter. I'm using avocado oil. You could add in some thyme, clove of garlic, whatever. But you know, I'm happy with the avocado oil and the salt and pepper. So about a minute on each side just to give it a good sear. And then we're going to pull it off and plate it. Get the plate here so we'll be ready. Let's see how it's doing. Yeah, we're about there. Okay, I think we're there. Look at that. Again, try to get all your surfaces touching. All your surface on the bottom there touching. You don't want anything curling up. You want to get it all brown. If at all possible. And just let it sear. And it's about ready to pull off now. And as I said, you don't have to let it rest because of that oven sequence of doing that. Has served the purpose. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off and we're ready to plate. You can see the bottom is seared good too. So that's exactly what we wanted. And we'll be back and I'll cut it open and let you see what the center looks like. So there's the steak, you can see it. And in the middle there, it's a nice medium rare. You can see, I think you can see it there, which is just what we wanted. And it's going to be very tender and very tasty. So, just to recap, 200 degrees, you put it on a rack, you dry the steak and season it, 200 degrees, put it on a rack, set it in the oven. In this case, it took 30 minutes. Start checking it at about 20 because you don't want to overcook. You shoot for medium rare, shooting for about a 115 temp in the middle. Then you bring it out and you immediately throw it into the pan, a hot pan with some oil or butter, whatever you want, a hot pan, and let it cook for 1 minute on each side, sear. And if it doesn't sizzle when you put it in, you didn't have the pan hot enough. So that's how you reverse sear a steak, right there. Hope you'll try it. Hope you enjoyed it. And this is Mike at Ketorific Journey saying, let's be careful out there.